All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites. We come out week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of America, according to the Bible, You know, you got a lot of things going on. This society, you got the Bilderberg meetings. You know, you got dealings behind the scenes going on to dictate the future of these people, man. And mainly the thing that they're pushing is the radio frequency microchip. You heard today, this week, they was talking about the Paris agreements that Trump pulled out of. Well, that's all part of a global governance, man. Nations without borders, which Trump ran on America first, right? But that's against the elites, the globalist plan, because what they want to do is they want to implement their new world order, a cashless society. That's part of the agenda, Okay, give me Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, 33rd chapter. Now they have to feed it to the people, man. Climate change, the fact of the matter is that you're gonna have a global warming, all of that stuff that they're feeding the masses of people to push them into accepting a one world government, man. Okay? Get that? Yeah, for the top.
This is Isaiah 33 verse 6. It says, and the wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of Yahawah is his treasure.
Yeah, see, in the times that we coming into, this government, in league with the top international bankers, they're gonna feed you a false sense of reality, They're gonna feed you lies and bullshit, so to speak, man. And the masses of these people are ready to go right into the New World Order system. They're ready to take the chip, the RFID microchip, which is gonna be the new form of payment. They've already been conditioned to accept this New World Order agenda, man. That's why the scriptures say wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of your times when all hell breaks loose. Because they're gonna package this chip, this mark of the beast. Matter of fact, get that in Revelation 13. They're gonna package it so beautifully that if you don't have the knowledge of GMSYahawahs and the faith, which starts with the fear of the Lord, you're gonna accept it, man. You're gonna accept it. And somebody hold Isaiah the 30th chapter.
This is Revelation chapter 13 verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
Yeah, see these people walk up the street, on their phones and so on and so forth. They're playing right into that system, man. He calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor. He's going to start with different segments of the population. You have an immigration problem, right? How do we track the immigrants? How do we know if they're terrorists? Because of this ISIS threat, man. Right? Well, we gotta chip the people, man. We gotta mark them. We have to have some type of identification system better than the Social Security card that we created in the 1930s, man. Okay? Read it again.
This is Revelation chapter 13 verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
Yeah, and he's going to cause them to receive that mark, whether it be voluntarily or through the threat of getting put to death, having sanctions put on. You know about the RFID microchip?
I know about this.
You know about the mark of the beast?
Nah, but you tell me a little bit.
Read it again.
This is Revelation chapter 13 verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
So we out here to prophesy. We out here to say something that happens before it happens. Now, when he read that scripture, it says he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark in his forehead, or in his right hand or his forehead. Now, let me ask you a question. Who has the ability to do that on the face of the earth? What nation of people have the ability to do that? Read it again.
This is Revelation chapter 13 verse 16. It says, if he calls of all, both small and great.
All, both small and great. Go ahead.
Rich and poor.
Rich and poor people.
Free and bond.
Free and bond people,
to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
Now, who has the power on the planet Earth to fulfill that prophecy in the scriptures?
White people.
That's right. Do you know who the so-called white man?
Esau.
So you down. Okay. Go ahead.
No, that was it.
Okay, that's it?
Yeah.
What was...
So you understand what the mark of the beast is?
Talking about that chip, right?
RFID chip.
chip.
Right, that's right. Because they're going to try to put that in people and tell you, this is the way you want to buy or sell. Right, that's what's up. That's what's up. A lot of people, there's controversy between, different people. There's a lot of Hebrew Israelites that say one thing from another. So that's it. That's what's up, though. That's what's up. You know what tribe you from?
Judah.
Judah,
but I mean, my grandfather Haitian.
You might be Levi. Yeah, your father's father?
My dad Jamaican. My mother.
So your father's father Jamaican?
Yeah, his father Jamaican.
Yeah, so more than likely you come from the tribe of Benjamin. You know what Benjamin means? Son of the right. Let's get the prophecy on Benjamin. Genesis 49.
It's imperative that our people get this knowledge before the evil day come,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, hold that on deck. Isaiah 33 and 6. It's towards the end. He's later. He's the youngest. So he came last. Yeah, but go ahead.
This is Genesis chapter 49, verse 27. It says, Benjamin shall raven as a wolf, and in the morning he shall devour the prey, and at the night he shall divide the spoil.
That's right, because it's talking about the elect of Benjamin. Matter of fact, read Genesis 49 and 1, then read that.
This is Genesis chapter 49, verse 1. It says, and Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Yeah, see, so Jacob told him, just like the brother was going into prophecy, Jacob told his son, I'm going to show you who you're going to be in the last days, how to identify yourself. Go ahead.
That was it on that.
27.
This is Genesis chapter 49, verse 27. It says, Benjamin shall raven as a wolf, and in the morning he shall devour the prey.
Let's start right there. So Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. So Benjamin, what a wolf before he attacks his prey, what does it do? It howls. So that's the ravening. So he's speaking before he actually attacks. That's Benjamin. That's a concept of Benjamin. That's a trait of Benjamin. Benjamin says things before it happens. Now, remember it's talking about the last days. Now you want to go back to 1969. What happened was there was a song, I forget the man's name, it wasn't Peter Tosh. It was another man, he had a song called Oh Poor Israelites in 1969. And that's around the time when the prophecy started to come to pass. All right, starting with the so-called white man going into the moon, calling himself going to the moon, because the scripture said what? When you shall make your nest amongst the stars, then shall I bring thee down. All right, but keep going on Benjamin.
Go on. It says, verse 27, it says, in the morning he shall devour the prey.
And it said, okay, read it again. So he says he's going to howl first, meaning going to tell you before he attacks. And that's the tribes, the 12,000 out of the tribe of Benjamin. That's the prophets. All right, go ahead.
It says, Benjamin shall raven as a wolf, and in the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil.
Right, because it's talking about the day that's to come. See, the night represents a dark time. All right, the night represents also to the beginning of a new day. So what's going to happen is that Benjamin's going to raven as a wolf. He's going to prophesy, and then what? What's going to happen? The Lord is going to put the spirit on the Benjamites that are righteous. To what? To when the Lord comes back, the one whom the world called Jesus. You know his name?
I mean,
No. Yahawah is his name. Yahawah. Now, what happens is, it's cool. What happens is when Yahawah comes back, he's going to take that 12,000 of Benjamin, and then that's when they're going to go devour and divide the spoil. You know what it means to divide the spoil? Take back what's ours, so you can understand. Because everything has been taken from us. The whole earth has been robbed of us. All right? So it's imperative to know, it's good you know your nationality, you gotta know what comes behind it. Because just because you know you're an Israelite, you know that you're a Benjamite, or you might be from Judah still, you never know. All in all, you have to know how to serve your power, because knowing how to serve your power is going to get you delivered in the last day. Give me Ecclesiastes 12:1, bring out Isaiah 33:6.
This is Isaiah 33:6. It says, in wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times.
See, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. The word stability, when you go into the Hebrew, is Amawan, which means faith. So getting this knowledge on who you are, getting this wisdom, on who you are is going to hold your faith in the last days. Because what? Because perilous times is coming. Martial law is coming, like the brother said. The mark of the beast is coming. So everyone is going to be put on a judgment seat, if you will, by the so-called white man, if you will, which the so-called white man is Esau, like you said. That's his proper name, right? Esau is going to basically try to make you get with his program. But the Lord said, look, read Ecclesiastes 12:1.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1.
Yup.
It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth.
Yeah, it said, the scripture said, remember your creator in the days of thy youth. Go ahead.
It says, while the evil days come not.
Right, because the word evil is eve meaning time, ill meaning bad. It said before the bad times come. So you got to get with the program. That's why you go back to what? The knowledge and the wisdom of the Heavenly Father. It said, remember to create in the days of thy youth while the evil days come not. How you remember the Lord? Knowledge and wisdom and understanding. The true knowledge, wisdom, understanding of the scriptures. Keep going.
It says, nor the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in this.
Yeah, while before it's bad times when it's going to be hard to get food, before you may not see the rest of your family, before what else? Some other things. You know, you may not be able to get from city to city like the scriptures say. That's the days of pleasure, because right now we're living in the quote-unquote days of pleasure. Why? Because we're able to do luxurious. We're able to, if you wanted to, you had enough money, you get on that bus right there. In the days to come, you ain't gonna be able to do what you want to do. So you're gonna have the knowledge and wisdom to ground you so you know what to do. It's called discernment. You know, that's a part of understanding. Keep going on Ecclesiastes 12.
Verse 2, it says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened,
right,
nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble.
Right, because a lot of the work is going to be gone. Ain't going to be no work in America. All right, so what helps you eat when you go to work? I see you got a job. You go to work, you get your paycheck, you hit the grocery store, and you buy food. When ain't no work, how you gonna get food? That's where faith kicks in. Get real quick. Psalms, I think it's 37. You know, go ahead, speak. Say something.
Yeah. When the times that we talking about, people gonna want this to come back. You know how it is right now. It's gonna be so bad. People gonna long for this, just walking up the street. And that's gonna be like a luxury to them. You know, they're gonna wish that they could go get a burger. You know, because there's gonna be shortages on food and stuff like that. The stuff we take for granted, toilet paper, toiletries. You know, in the times that we talking about, you're not gonna be able to get that stuff. You know?
Right. And then go to Romans, the 3rd chapter, and talk about how righteousness is gotten by faith. Now read that.
This is Psalms 37, verse 25. I have been young and now am old.
See, now this is David talking, I believe. He said, I've been old and I've been young. Let's see, a man. He's basically saying I'm a man of experience. Go ahead.
Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread.
Begging for bread. Right? Now, basically, he said, look, I have a lot of experience. Out of all my experience, I've never seen the righteous begging for bread. Why? Because the Lord, get it for me, Matthew the 6th chapter. Remember, towards the end, when he said, the fowls of the air shall eat, you know, you got that? Okay, but basically, faith is what makes you righteous. Matter of fact, Philippians, I believe it is. Philippians, I think it's the 3rd chapter, bear with me. I got you, give me 1 second, brother. Yep, Philippians 3 and 9. Yup. Now, hold on, real quick, Salakia. Go ahead, read the rest.
Verse 26. He is ever merciful and lendeth, and his seed is blessed.
And his seed is blessed. Talking about the righteous in particular, because you have the nation of Israel, but then you have the righteous, because the scriptures talk about how there's 2 Israel. You got Israel, and you got the Israel of the Most High. Right, so you want to be the Israel of the Most High. How are you the Israel of the Most High? By taking heed to the word of the prophets, by taking heed to the words of his priests. All right?
Verse 27, depart from evil and do good and dwell forevermore.
See, depart from evil. Meaning what? Follow his, it's bigger than the law, statutes, and commandments. It's the volume of the book. It's doing what the son said to do. All right? Now bring out what I call. No, not that one. Yes.
This is Philippians chapter 3, verse 9. It says, and be found in him, not having my own righteousness.
Yeah, because this is Paul talking, because Paul kept the law he said no one basically can trump him when it came to the law. But we want to get to the point. This is what the chapter is talking about. He said no one can trump him when it comes to the law. So let's see what he said righteousness is. Keep going.
It says, which is of the law, but that which...
He said my own, started reading it, we're going to read it again. He said his own righteousness, which is of the law, but we want to see what the righteousness of the Most High is, not our own righteousness. Go ahead, read it from the top again.
This is Philippians chapter 3, verse 9. It says, and be found in him, not having mine own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Yahawashi.
Right, but that's righteousness. Having faith on GMSYahawahs. That's what righteousness is. So remember when the scripture said what? It said what? I've never seen a righteous begging for bread. So now now you got your answer. You know how you will be able to eat in that day. See, now the thing about faith is a gift. And once you get it as a gift, you gotta hold on to it. Now let's get what faith is. No, let's get what faith is. Let's get what faith is. Yep, let's get it. Gotta get it. Let's, stay tedious, Deal with the increments.
Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
That's right. Now that one, but get the one, faith coming by hearing the word of the Lord. I believe, was that Hebrews? Yeah, get it. Slack if I misquote. But that's still good. Read that again. Now let this brother get it. You know where it's at?
Yeah, this is Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for,
right?
The evidence of things not seen.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Now substance, when you deal with substance, that's typically tangible things, like things you can grab. Like back in the ancient world, substance was cattle, goat, money, gold, silver. That's what would get you by. But the scripture said the real substance is faith. You see what I'm saying? Because remember, the days to come, gold and silver ain't going to be able to help you. Hold that, Proverbs 11. Proverbs 11. Go ahead, bring it out.
This is Romans chapter 10, verse 17. It says, so then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahweh by Hashem Yahawashi.
That's right. That's how faith is obtained on the earth. Go from there to Proverbs 1:20. That's how faith is obtained on the earth, by hearing the words of Yahweh by Hashem Yahawashi. Like what you're doing right now. The longer you stay, the more faith you're going to get. The more and more you come out, the more and more stronger a man of the Lord you become. So when the times come, you look, we've been talking about this. We already knew it's coming. We already got the blueprint. We know what's to come. The scripture said what? A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. A prudent man is another word to be wise. Now you got that? Proverbs 1:20?
This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20. It says, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the street.
See, wisdom crieth without. How do we obtain righteousness? By faith. How do we obtain faith? By the word of the Heavenly Father. Remember, because that's the wisdom. The word of the Lord is the wisdom. How do you get the wisdom? By coming here out on the street. Through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi, for the most part, you do got other Hebrew Israelites that go out on the street, but we're the most consistent. All right? Consistency is the key to anything, man. If I'm not mistaken, real quick, if you can, you got your phone working, look up the word consistent. Because if I'm not mistaken, it deals with the word strength. Because when something's consistent, it's hard to penetrate. Matter of fact, this school. You looking it up? The water. Let this brother look up. Y'all get the scriptures. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, this is Proverbs 11:4. It says.
No, 1. Start at 1.
Okay, yeah, come on. Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is abomination to the Lord.
Right.
But a just weight is his delight.
Keep going.
When pride cometh, then cometh shame. But with the lowly is wisdom.
Yup, with the lowly is wisdom. Because people that have money and they think about it. Floyd Mayweather, for instance, how is he going to survive in that day? He ain't going to survive because he's proud, because he thinks he has substance. Keep going.
Yeah, come on. It says, verse 3, the integrity of the upright shall guide them.
See, the integrity, that deals with consistency as well, because there's no such thing as having some integrity. If you have integrity or you don't, because integrity deals with wholeness, 100%. A lot of other Hebrew Israelites say that you can't have 100% truth. Well, how am I going to have integrity if I can't have 100% truth? That makes no sense. Go ahead.
It says the integrity of the upright shall guide them.
See, the integrity of the upright, meaning the righteous, another word for upright is righteous. shall guide them. Go ahead.
With the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them.
Yeah, the perverseness meaning you leaning and trying to depend on other things outside of these scriptures. Go ahead.
It says, riches profit not in the day of wrath.
Right, because that's what people are going to try to lean on. You got people getting 401ks, they're investing into different stocks. You know, they're listening to the financial forecasters, they're investing into the real estate market. They're basically investing in their time and money in all the wrong things. All right? Go ahead.
Yeah,
a little more.
Yeah, it said, verse 4, it says, riches profit not in the day of wrath.
In the day of wrath, that's to come. Go ahead.
But righteousness delivereth from death.
But righteousness delivereth from death. And what did we say the righteousness was? The faith in Yahawah GMSYahawahs. You got the consistency?
Yeah, this is Edom online, consistent. It says standing firm, standing still. From the Latin consistency, no manner, consistence, present,
If it's in different languages, you know, just skip it.
Modern sense of agreeing with the first act. Otis says, yeah, so just standing firm.
Standing firm, standing sticks. Now let's get that. What's that? Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter? Them that, what was it? Stand so stiffly for the word of the Lord. Yup, let's get that, man. Because that's what the scriptures say that you have to do. You have to be consistent. You have to stand firm in the name of the Lord. And that goes back to the chip again. You got it? You got it out? Get Revelations 3 and 10. Let this brother get that. Let's get Revelations 3 and 10. Matter of fact, you get what you get. Slot. You get Revelations 3 and 10. Now just get that, brother. Yup.
This is Revelation 3 and 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation.
See, now you have kept, when you keep the word of the Lord, meaning you watching over, you hovering over, you making this your life. The Lord said, because you did this, at the end, he said, I will keep you from the hour of temptation. The hour of temptation is that shit. That's what the hour of temptation is, because it's going to be whose side do you want? Because right now, you can kind of play the fence. The scriptures told us to do what? Be wise as serpents and harmless as doves, right? So right now, we're playing the serpent. We kind of like, you know, if I walk up and down the street, I don't really tell everybody I'm an Israelite to be always straight with you. When I'm in my everyday life, I'm just a regular person. I am who my social security card says, who my birth certificate says. Why? Because this word is offensive. So we got to conduct in a wise manner, right? So the day is going to come where they're going to be like, okay, whose side are you on? Where all that's going out the window. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world.
See, which shall come upon the whole world, man. The hour of temptation, the brother just read that. He just read that. That proves right there what the hour of temptation is. Because the hour of temptation is going to be upon the whole world. Now, Revelation 13:16 said what? He said, I cause of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. You know, that's throughout the whole entire earth, man. All right? Go ahead.
And this is right here is the main stage. That's what the American people taught. Freedom, you know, democracy, and so on and so forth. So it's going to come by the sword. They're going to enforce that shit by the sword.
That's right.
And you're going to have to choose. You want to deal with the Heavenly Father, like the faith of our fathers, when they believed in the Lord, when things were bleak, you know, or you want to trust in the so-called white man, the enemy. That's what it's going to ultimately come down to.
That's right. Whose side are you on, man? Whose side are you? Oh, matter of fact, get Matthew 10:34, Baba Bashar. Go ahead. You got something?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 2. I start at 45. It says, and he answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahawah GMSYahawahs. Now they, Shalaki said, now are they crowned and receive palms.
And how did they confess the name of the Lord? How did they confess how did they confess the name of the Lord and stand so stiffly? They was out on the streets proclaiming the name of the Lord. You know, part of this is coming out to the highways and hedges and proclaiming the name of the Lord in the streets.
Yeah, that's right, because right now it ain't popular. You know what I'm saying? So you got Kendrick Lamar, his album, his song, you probably heard it. You got his song talking about he's an Israelite. Mari Stoudemire was on SportsCenter talking about how he's a Hebrew Israelite. So the thing is becoming more and more popular, but we're doing it right now when it's not popular. That's how you know someone is faithful, when they're doing something that's against the odds. The scripture says that in Exodus the 23rd chapter, following out a multitude to do sin. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 47, it says, so he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of the Most High whom they have confessed in the world.
See, it's the Son of the Most High. See, it's the Son of the Most High, man. Now, you got Hebrew Israelites out there that denounce the Old Testament, right? Who's that talking about? Because that's before, this is before. It said, read that again.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 47.
Yeah, because Ezra lived during the time of the Persians prior to when Yahawashi came on the scene. Read that again.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 47. It says, so he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of the Most High whom they have confessed in the world. Then they begin. It says, then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord Yahweh.
See? Yeah, that's Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi.
Yeah.
Right, because he's talking about future prophecy. There's no way you can get to Yahweh without Yahawashi. That's impossible. You have to understand that concept. Why? Because we're sinners. We have a lot of blood on our hands. So that's why when Yahawashi, when he shed his blood, what does the scripture say? He shed his blood for the remission of sins of many. You know? Whatever brothers got.
Back in Revelation 3rd chapter, it says, I'm gonna read it over. It says 3 and 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth.
To try them that dwell upon the earth. The word try means to test. And the word up there earlier he mentioned, it said patience. And the word patience, that's why when you go to the doctor, you go to the doctor in the hospital, what do you become? You become a patient. Why? Because you're suffering. See what I'm saying? So the book, the scriptures is saying, as long as you keep this suffering, because just like the Lord suffered, Yahawashi suffered, the men of the Lord suffered. We just did the video with the brother up the street. We got brothers up the street, top brothers up the street. Them brothers, we was going into how Paul had to suffer for the truth. Paul was constantly going through tumults, beat downs. Paul was constantly going through tumults, riots, different struggles, different fights. He got bitten by a snake, a poisonous snake at that, thrown into prison. Go ahead,
He had a whole city against him.
Yeah.
He had a whole damn city against him for the words that he spoke,
That's right, they beat him, they actually put him to death. Paul actually died, right, and came back to life. The Most High took his spirit out of his body. That's how bad they beat him, but it wasn't his time to go, so the Lord put the spirit back in his body. He got up and went back to the city and still prophesied again. That's a man of the Lord. That's a man that's standing stiffly. That's consistency.
That's the example of faith.
That's right. That's right. Go ahead.
This is Revelation 3 and 11. It says, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown.
Yeah, he said hold fast, man. I mean, that's another word for being consistent, being firm. When you hold something fast, like when you, what they say, fasten your seatbelt, because you got to lock in. All right? Keep going out.
Verse 12, it says, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power.
See, it's about overcoming, man. Because the obstacles that's coming to America, our people don't have no idea. Let me get Hosea 4 and 1. Our people have no idea of what's coming. Therefore, they're not going to know how to deal with it. All right? So that's why we out here to warn our people, such as brothers like yourself, and ready to listen, to equip yourself. The scripture says what? Put on the whole armor of the Most High. Why? So you can fight the wiles of the devil, man. And the devil is who? The so-called white man. You said his name earlier. His true name is Esau, man. That's another way you identify the phonies from the true men of the Lord. We call names, man. We're the Hebrew Israelites. They're the Edomites. All right? You got a lot of Hebrew Israelite camps. They'll say the white man, the devil, cave beast. They'll never call them the Edomites. That mean, you know why? Because Esau's behind, they're pulling the strings, man. They're the puppeteers, if you will. All right? Let the brother, you got more on that, right? A little more, finish it off.
It says, he that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power.
A pillar, like the scripture said in Jeremiah, he said, I've made thee a brazen wall. Another word, a synonymous word for consistent or to be firm. You know? Look, that's what we are, man. We're not able to be moved. You know why? Because the Most High sent us out here to do this. This is not our program. We're acting upon faith and not our own righteousness. If this was upon our own righteousness, then the Most High will move us. What the scripture say? Get it, because it's good. That's a real good example. Go up higher, because he mentioned the names of the men that try to do it on their own accord. You know?
This is the book of Acts. Yeah, this is the book of Acts 5:34. It says, then stood there up one in the council, a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a doctor of law, had in reputation among all the people, and commanded to put the apostles forth a little space.
Right. Now, Gamaliel, he was a man, he actually taught Paul, and not only that, they said that he was of reputation, meaning he had a big name amongst Israelites. Go ahead.
And said unto them, ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do as touching these men.
Yeah, because the apostles was coming up and everybody wanted to butcher them, everybody wanted to batter them. They got locked up, they got chased. And Gamaliel was like, look, y'all better be careful with what y'all doing to these men. Right? So go ahead.
It says, for before these days rose up Titus, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who was slain, and all as many as obeyed him was scattered and brought to naught.
See, so this man Titus, which he was basically a zealot, he was basically what you would call today a Black Panther. He had 400 men that would follow him, and what they was trying to do, they was trying to overthrow the Roman Empire with the sword. They was basically trying to fight the Roman Empire.
Uprising.
It was they were causing uproars. They were causing riots. They were basically a bunch of Hebrew Israelites, so-called blacks, so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians, going basically modern day time would try to go to Capitol Hill or the White House and overthrow it. But Gamaliel said, look, they got put to death.
Scared.
Right? So go ahead.
It says, after this rose up Judas of Galilee.
Yup.
In the days of the taxing.
Right, another zealot, another so-called Black Panther, if you will. Go ahead.
And drew away much people after him.
Right, see, he had a big following. Go ahead.
He also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed.
See, they got put to death, man. And then the scripture says what? Smite the shepherd and the sheep are scattered. You can't smite our shepherd. So therefore we not going to scatter. Go ahead.
It says, verse 38, and now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught.
Yeah, so anything of men will be withered away, be done away with, man. You know what the beautiful thing about faith is? It keeps you humble. That's the key. That's the best thing, man. It keeps you humble, man. Because by the works of the law, men will boast themselves. But when you understand this is not by your own works, and you're doing someone else's program, you gotta remember, okay, this ain't of me. The Most High can take me out anytime. So, but Gamaliel was basically saying, look, let's see if these men are men of the Lord, and basically the Most High will take them out if they're not of the Lord. You know? Go ahead.
It says, but if it be of GMSYahawahs, ye cannot overthrow it.
Right.
Lest haply ye be found even to fight against Yahweh.
Right, and that's what happened during the time of Paul. During the time of Paul, with Paul, basically what was Paul doing? He was persecuting the Christians, the so-called Christians. Right? He was persecuting the followers of Yahweh, right? And then what happened? He got knocked off the horse, and then the Lord came unto him, Yahweh came unto him and said, what? Why kickest thou against the pricks? Meaning, why are you going against the grain? Why are you trying to fight my program? Essentially. All right? And then the Most High, Yahweh actually, he blinded him and then put him away, taught him for 3 days, and then that's when he went out to do the work of the Lord, man. You know? But all in all, it's like, you can't fight against the program. The Most High's one, Jonah is another example. You know about the story of Jonah, right? He was on the way to Nineveh, he was supposed to prophesy. Remember, he was swallowed up by the big fish. the New Testament says whale, but when you go, when you go into the translation, it just says fish. You know, so I can understand why people say whale. You know, but all in all, what happened to Jonah? He was supposed to go do the work of the Lord. On the way to go do the work of the Lord, what happened? The big fish swallowed him up and spit him out right there in Nineveh. So the Most High, this is the Most High's program, and that's another big misconception on what the society, how this society is ran. The Most High controls everything. The Most High put Trump in office. The Most High put Bush and Obama in office. The Most High put Putin in office. Hey, the Most High is gonna make this Third World War go off. You know?
And another thing about the Third World War, these people gonna be the last to know it, man.
Yep.
They're gonna be the last to know it when it starts.
Which is pretty much already started, you know? Go ahead, Al.
This is Romans chapter 9, verse, I start at 18. It says, therefore he have mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will harden. Verse 19, it says, thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who have resisted his will?
Yeah, who has resisted his will, man? You know, no one can resist the will of that GMSYahawahs, man. And that's the key ingredients right there. We keep saying the name, we keep putting the name in here because we know we read it in English. When you go into the Hebrew, that's the true names of the Lord. And that's the names that they're gonna try to butcher and batter. That's the names that they're gonna try to say has no power. You know? That's the names that Paul and the other disciples and Peter called upon. Right? That's our power, man. You know, our power is in the name of GMSYahawahs, man. That's why we're out here. That's why we're out here on a consistent basis. That's why we out here in winter. You know, we out here when it rains. Consistently, man. You know, whatever brothers got. What's up, bro? I know this. Yeah, but we out here every Saturday. This is the second camp.
That's the Sabbath.
Well, no, brother. Well, I have to say this. We believe, you know, by scriptural evidence that we're not gonna drag you into this. I know you gotta be out, but the Sabbath is according to the new moon, right? Because the word month. Because how do you get the Sabbath? Is what? Is by what? The sixth day at evening to the seventh day at evening, right? Now, in the scriptures, a day starts when the sun goes down at evening. That starts a day, first and foremost. Second of all, what starts a month, give me real quick, Genesis 1 and 14. What starts a month, the word month, when you actually look it up, is a Latin word. I forget how you say the actual Latin word, but it goes back to the word moon, or luna. So the word luna or month or moon is synonymous. You know? So we could go into